Yes.
And we'll keep it to 3 minutes. Did I say 2, 3, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
And you can edit.
that's true.
Just read that afterwards.
All right. So today we're going to debate the statement that only mainstream U.S. English, standard English, academic English, only the standard should be written in any assessed classroom work. So, Joe, take it away.
So we are arguing the point that this should be taken. There should be a standard written English. There's a difference between like how you speak and how you write. And we feel that there should be a standard written English, because if you want to be able to express yourself to the greatest number of people, you want to be able to know a standard English. In Mandarin, in Chinese, there's Mandarin Chinese, and then there's a bunch of other different dialects. But what you always learn when you go to China is Mandarin Chinese. If you want to go to Germany, you always learn High German, which is the greatest spoken language there. What else do we have?
It just doesn't register. Like, if you speak a certain way and then you write that way that you speak, it doesn't register the same way as it should. So you need to put a little structure into, you have to have that standard written English so it registers the same way. I mean, for a non-native English speaker, if they read something the way that we would say it, they're not going to understand it, so we have to be able to have all cultures understand us, not just your fellow peer.
Something that's lost in written writing is you don't have metaverbal communication. You won't be able to use your arms. That's physical communication. But metaverbal communication is the inflections of your voice and everything. And so while something makes sense when you say it, like she said, to write it down, you actually have to have the structure. Like my brother-in-law, he grew up in Belton, Missouri, and it bugs the heck out of my sister when she's speaking, when she hears him speak, and he says, "One time I seen a Camaro down the street," and that's okay to hear it. But if you're reading a paper and you see, "I went to Washington D.C. last year and I seen the place where they put their signatures on the Constitution," you lose the reader and credibility. So there needs to be a standard written English that gives it credit.
The article that we found, this is over African American children in the classroom, and there's this one section that says, "I did not ask and did not ask Steve why he chose to speak one way and write another. I have been taught since childhood that it was rude and impolite to ask probing questions about sensitive issues. Questioning about his language usage would be rude from my perspective and perhaps even insulting and overbearing since I was a white teacher and Steve was an African American student. In hindsight, I wish I had let go of my concerns and simply asked Steve why there was such a difference between his speech and writing." So,
What's the title, author? What page did you find that on?
it's the intersection of theory and practice accepting the language of a child brings to the classroom, and it's page 128.
128.
It just proves right there somebody who's not even from America is able to distinguish between his speaking and his writing skills. He is able to conform, I guess you could say, to other people's reading abilities and not just his own and his family's.
Okay, you got about 30 seconds. You can wrap it up.
Can I say one thing real fast? In our textbook, Writing and Reading Across the Curriculum, on page 228, it talks about the Ivy League schools and how they want to protect their name as a quality name brand. And so sometimes it's not necessarily discrimination, but they don't want to be associated with certain groups of people that will bring the quality of their school down. So they will actually select people from certain groups, and they'll keep the children of the alumni in the school. And so if you don't teach a student proper written American English, and they want to get into, say, an Ivy League school, it's not going to help them. You're actually doing a disservice to them in not teaching them how to get into a successful setting in life.
If they want to go far, they need to learn to adapt.
Exactly.
Okay. Great. And